subscribe, support, and stay positive. But me and Hobbs were just talking about basically about finding a guest for Tommy Talks tonight, because my Jurassic Park World guy, is that what you just did?
Jurassic Park World?
Yeah,
Jurassic World.
My Jurassic World guest kind of backed out because of...
well, he had to have surgery, and so, you know, I guess he didn't want to be on the show with an eye patch on.
Yeah.
His face looking like he just got out of the hospital, so I understand, you know. I think he was so excited when he originally heard from him. He didn't realize that he was going to be doing his surgery at the same exact time, and so he said, yeah, I want to be on your show, and he accepted your invitation, and then it turned out that, you know, he had that doctor's appointment for the eye surgery. So what can you do, man? I think if something comes up with your eyes and you have an opportunity to have it taken care of, you better do it.
Yeah, so, you know, I've been working on some things for, you know, Tommy Talks, and...
Like the people's eyebrow? You've been working on, welcome to Tommy Talks, and then the people's eyebrow comes up on your eyebrow? That one eyebrow on the one side of your face? Is that what you've been working on?
No, Hamza. But also another thing is, Tommy Talks has a new intro now, thanks to this gentleman named Chris from Canada. I keep forgetting his what his name is, but he might be a guest for Tommy Talks also tonight. I've been compiling. It's hard to when you at the last moment you dig a hole, and then you hit a pipe, and then your hole fills up with oil. Of course, you're filthy stinking rich if you then you realize you're right next to an oil refinery, and you're just like, oh, maybe I'm not rich. Maybe I'm gonna get fined thousands of dollars.
That's more like how it would really go. If you struck oil, they'd be like, yeah, we already knew about that. We were using it.
We were using it, and just like what's his face says, you're fired. And the one thing about it is we need to blow up the oil fields so ISIS won't be able to use it.
So, Tommy, if you can't get any guests tonight, what's the last resort of unveiling the new segment?
What's the new segment?
The one you were kind of hinting at last time on Tommy Talks when we were talking about Terminator Genisys. You were saying, you know, that we were working on a new segment that might be unveiling.
Well, it's a new segment, and Hamza might be the star. He's going to be possibly the star of this, and it's going to be not a segment.
DJ?
Huh?
Me or DJ?
Maybe we were thinking of several options, but my options is pointing towards Hamza because, you know, I imagine Hamza being this character, and me just feeding him the lines for him to say things, and it's going to be scripted. It's going to be funny. Of course, at this
point, if it unveiled on the show, it would just kind of be almost like improv. What's that show? Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Type, you know, because the thing is we haven't scripted anything, but it could be the right time to unveil the character.
Yes. So this character has been we mentioned it in past videos, but we never did anything about it because we were always busy and doing stuff. But, you know,
the character was still in the embryo. It basically had to plug some DNA codes.
With frog DNA.
You know, basically to connect the... What are those parts called of the DNA code? EST chains or something?
No, GNC caps.
Yeah, you had to plug the GNC caps.
Yes, basically they used frog DNA to fill in the GNC caps, and some West African frogs have been known to change sex.
Like the frog would go from being a man frog into a female frog?
Yes, basically. You know.
Kind of like on Junior. No, wait a minute. Was it Junior where Arnold Schwarzenegger was having a baby?
I've never watched an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Honestly, I never understood how he became. I think
I think he had frog DNA.
Frog DNA?
Yeah, he switched from male to female in the movie. And all of a sudden, he's in the maternity ward with all these little ladies that are pregnant, and he's like this big muscular guy, and he's like, oh no, I'm having a baby. Oh, I'm pregnant.
A lot of people say they ignore that movie.
I think it's hilarious. I saw it when it came out, and you know what? Did I tell you what I watched recently?
What'd you watch?
yesterday I watched part of, Cameron watched the whole thing, a 1969 movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger called Hercules in New York.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, this is about Hercules coming from, you know, basically, you know, the land, I can't remember what they even called it, you know, Mount Olympus. He comes from Mount Olympus with all the other gods and goddesses. He comes to New York from Mount Olympus, and you know, he's in modern day society. Of course, this was 1969, but compared to the ancient Greek and Roman times, it is very modern, you know, cars, taxis, skyscrapers, and he's walking around going, I'm Hercules, I don't need any money, I'm Hercules. You know, it's a great, it's a funny movie, it's very good.
And he ends up being a pro wrestler.
It's, yeah, he becomes a professional wrestler
You
to make money.
on camera?
And it's on Netflix.
And his mother gives him some sort of powder that...
Oh, yes.
That's not his mother. Yes, it is.
Yeah, his mother is basically against him.
Yeah. That's his stepmom.
Oh, his stepmom, that's right. Yeah, because it's basically his father's wife.
And she gives him some sort of powder.
I think her name is, what is her name? His father's name is Zeus, and Zeus's wife's name is, say it. Say what her name was in the movie, please. Because like at one point,
Pandora?
at one point, one of his brothers or friends comes down and they're like, look, we really want you to return to Mount Olympus. You know, Zeus really wants you to come back, and he almost sent Nemesis after you. And he's like, wait a minute, everybody misses me even? And then he says the name of Zeus's wife, and the guy's like, well, you know how she is.
Really?
Yeah, basically she wants to destroy Zeus. Not Zeus, she wants to destroy Hercules.
Speaking about Schwarzenegger, Schwarzenegger has his own YouTube channel, which you know is just awesome channel, and I might be trying to enter into the contest to blow stuff up with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That would be my dream come true, to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. But no, I would never ask him questions about that other thing. No way.
If I were you, I'd ask him movies about Hercules. If he said like, well, what's your favorite movie of mine? Terminator, you know, one of these other ones, Last Action Hero, hopefully not. And
hopefully not.
Say, well, what about 1969 Hercules in New York? He'll probably start blushing and be like, oh God, I hope they would have erased that movie. Why? I'm calling my agent. Agent, you're fired.
Funny thing is, I was watching a YouTube video with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it was like one of his like first acting positions, I guess, for a sitcom show. And he comes in with this muscle-bound massage table. You know, he's like a muscle-bound guy that gives people massages. And he's like telling the lady, he's like, okay, take your clothes off now so I can give you a massage. She's like, really? And he's like, yes, now let's be set up so I can give you a massage.
And what show is this called? The sitcom?
I don't know. I really didn't read the title, but it was making me laugh because the wife apparently is getting divorced has gotten a divorce from her husband, divorced her husband, and he's coming in and he's just this old man. It's you know, just packing his stuff up, and he's extremely jealous that Arnold is there giving his wife a massage.
That's how, you know, that reminds me of part of that movie Hercules in New York, you know? Arnold's walking around, or should I say Hercules is walking around meeting people, and then like, you know, a guy will walk in who'll be like, is this your lover? The guy's like, hey, you take it back right now. What are you talking about? What are you saying? You know, you're insulting her right there. And he's like, oh, I just thought, you know, if you're not lovers, this is very bad. You know, I thought you would be lovers. And then, like, you know, these little puny New York guys are like, hey, how about we rough him up? Yeah, let's rough him up. One taxi driver was going to beat him up for not tipping him or paying the taxi fare. And Hercules, he says, well, you have been immortalized by giving a ride to Hercules. Why are you mad? And then the guy tries to slug him in the stomach, and Hercules just throws him down this hill, almost like this hill right here.
Yeah.
And then he lifts up his taxi cab car and flips it over on the side. And then this little guy that he's with is like, come on, let's get out of here. And he runs away with that guy, and they go and start making bets with these guys on the athletic field. You know, he's doing the long jump and all this other stuff, trying to win money in bets. He jumps over the whole field, I think.
You know, I recently went to go see Terminator Genisys. I went to go see Genisys.
Boy, up here it smells like skunkasis.
It's skunk called skunk weed.
I think it's your. Is it not your body odor?
No, it's called skunk weed, Hamza.
Okay. I'm just glad it's not your body odor, because if that was your body odor, man, I'd say you need more soap or shower or gel. Or maybe deodorant. You need Dio for the bio.
What I was saying was, I watched Terminator Genisys, so I went back and I watched.
I might keep the microphone closer to you, because all you're doing is.
I went back and I watched the original Terminator film, and I had to say I was so filled with nostalgia, and just honestly, in my opinion, you would think that, you know, they make Schwarzenegger look like a fluffy bunny in this movie, in my opinion, as a Terminator. But in the original movie, Schwarzenegger was just vicious. You know, there's no, you know, one-liners, didn't say much, and just out to destroy. And I have to say,
he's a lot more like in this one than he was in the second movie. You know, more talkative. You know, doing a lot more explaining. You know, in the first movie, of course, his operation was just to target and terminate.
yes.
And in the second movie, of course, his role is completely reversed. He's actually supposed to protect.
Yes.
And during that time, you know, of course, they start talking to him like, well, wait a minute, who sent you? And why are you not killing us? And you know, why are Terminators killing people? And what's going on? And all of a sudden, he's just like, operative number 3, there are no stupid questions. I must explain everything to you. You know, I think part of his memory is saying, like, tell them to shut up, stop asking me questions. But he just has to keep answering the questions that they ask. He just runs programs.
He just runs programs, no emotions. But in the movie, Terminator Genisys, he turns to Kyle Reese and says, take care of my Sarah. And I'm like, that's emotions. And I'm like, how can you, he's a machine, how can he be attached?
But that's his one program, is that his directive is he has to protect Sarah Connor. So he's basically sending her away, you know, basically decades into the future. I shouldn't probably give away all what's going on in the plot, because this is spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, and I will put that in the description.
Yeah, because
car vlog. Spoiler alert for Terminator Genisys. Spoiler alert. John Connor is a mutant Terminator. It's insane, because you don't expect John Connor. You know, he's the guy that's supposed to save the future. He's supposed to rise up against the machines. And what does Skynet do? They use the guy from basically, what is it?
Operaland. Bad singing lessons.
No, that's Doctor Who. One of the Doctor Who guys is playing the Terminator, and as Kyle Reese is being transformed into the future, the Terminator walks up and grabs, you know, John Connor, and basically kills off the whole entire soldiers, then transforms Connor into a like mutant robotics, you know, with this random.
What's the word for that? Cyborg?
It's not exactly cyborg, because he's not human tissue. He doesn't. Like, it's computer.
But still, he retains his physical appearance, and he retains all his memories.
Yes.
It redesigns at the cellular level each blood cell in his body, each physical cell in his body over time becomes replaced with, machine cell.
He even proved that because his face changes, because the scar on John Connor's face disappears, because he's the Terminator, and so he's this new programmed Terminator, and his face actually changes, and it's very interesting. And one thing I think it really flustered me is that this movie takes every single Terminator movie that we have watched and erases the plot line. because it's timelines being erased, because apparently a Terminator went after Sarah Connor when she was a little girl. So Schwarzenegger, as the Terminator, shows up to grab Sarah Connor and as a little girl. And so when Kyle Reese comes to the future, comes to the past, Sarah Connor's she can stand up for herself, she knows how to shoot guns. And one thing about it is Kyle Reese is the father of John Connor. So Kyle Reese doesn't know the fact that he basically...
All right, buddy.
Watch out for Spooky.
Yeah, I see her. Was she running another call?
No, she won't.
Well, alright, man. So we'll see you later on in town. And, alright, folks. I know that's what you always call your viewers, right? Folks? Or do you actually refer to them as Tommy Heads Ever?
I just say folks and stuff like that.
Folks. That's all, folks.
Yep. As always, I'm Tommy NC 2010. I'm keeping you on the inside fact. And take it away, Chris. Keeping you on the inside fact.
Hello world, I'm Chris Perillo, and I'm also the World Heavyweight Vlogger Champion, according to this belt. So that makes it official. Thank you, Tommy NC 2010, for giving this to me. I really appreciate your support. And Tommy NC 2010 is one of those people that you never really expect to meet. But once you meet him, you realize that he is probably one of the more genuine people you'll likely ever meet. And I'm speaking from the heart when I say that. Tommy NC 2010 is the man. You, Hollywood, you should absolutely subscribe to Tommy, if only because he's a real human being. And he's the type of person that I would want to meet. Someone who's really real. Himself. Living life out loud. And he's keeping you on the inside fact.